All right, I think we are live. Let me check real quick. Give some people some time to get in here before we start breaking down this slate. Let me make sure we're live. I think we're live. Okay, yeah, we're live. All right, guys. What's going on? It's a Thursday. We got a big slate tonight, 9 games, and there's some injury news tonight. So this should be a good slate, hopefully. There should be some opportunities to snipe some plays. I'll go over the injuries in just a second, but let me get this pulled up on my phone real quick. I'll give some people some time to get in here before we start talking through the slate and everything. Let's see. I'm trying to have something ready on Sleeper, just in case. Have it preloaded. Okay. What's going on, Jason? Line Logic, Eric, Carrie, what's up, guys? What's up? Line Logic says, what's up, Noah? Hornets being undervalued was the play last night. It's too bad they can't stop blowing teams out so we can get full run from the starters. I know, man. The Hornets are just on another level. Like, they're really good. Like, they're actually a good team. They're definitely going to make the playoffs. We'll see how far they go, but they're a legit team. I mean, what I saw their starting lineup, when they're all healthy, they're like 20-2. Like, that is insane. I mean, that win percentage is insane. Like, if they can just stay healthy, man, they've got a really good team. I'm a little worried about the bench, but like Kobe White, brings some scoring off the bench. Grant Williams brings defense. He's a good role player off the bench. Kalkbrenner's a solid defensive big. Like, they've still got a solid bench, but yeah, that starting lineup has been deadly this year. What's up, Jason? Straw. Oh yeah, that's right. You are Straw. I remember that. Yeah, Straw. My man Jason, longtime supporter. He's been in the Patreon and the YouTube chat. He's been in the Discord forever. Appreciate you, Jason. Appreciate you, my man. Longtime supporter. Hayden's talking about Trae Young under. He's only playing 20 minutes max. Yeah, we kind of knew that already. Like, that news came out, I think, 2 days ago when it was announced that Trae was going to play. It came out that like he was only going to play like 17 to 20 minutes. So the lines are kind of already set for Trae to be limited. I mean, if Trae Young was playing full minutes tonight, he would not have, whatever his points prop is, like 13.5 or 14.5. Like, the lines are set for a limit. Honestly, I would lean, I feel like Trae's going to go out there and, actually be aggressive and look for his shot. But we'll see, I guess. That's the situation I just kind of stayed away from today. I didn't bet any Trae props. Openly Opinionated says, what's up, bro? How are you? I'm in for nuking tonight. Last night they played us, but it's all good. Yeah, hopefully we'll find some good ones tonight. We found some good plays on stream yesterday. The Klingon fantasy should have been, sweat-free. But, of course, he gets ejected. My dad's calling me. I can't answer that right now. Hopefully it's not anything important. But, yeah, the Klingon play, I mean, we had him over 37 fantasy. He had, 32 right before halftime, and he gets ejected. Like, what are the odds? But... we found the Dembona play on stream yesterday. That was pretty sweat-free. He hit that. And then both, I think the Bona play and then the Keontae George fantasy that we paired with Klingon, both of our pairs hit. And, of course, the Klingon play doesn't hit or gets rebooted because he gets ejected. So stupid. EG Play says he likes Cody Williams over points and rebounds. Got it at 10.5. There's so many injuries for the Jazz currently. I like that, too. I think Cody Williams is definitely going to play a good amount. I do worry a little bit about the Jazz, tanking the game and trying to lose, but they'll probably still have Cody Williams out there. Cody Williams, sad to say it, but he's one of the worst players on the Jazz, so he's probably going to be out there, even if it's a blowout or even if they're trying to lose. His minutes feel fairly safe. Same with Ace Bailey. I took an Ace Bailey over today. I think Ace Bailey's going to play a good amount. A great matchup too. Lodge says he's been a fan since before they moved to New Orleans. Waited so long for them to be good. Yeah, I haven't been a Hornets fan, but I've been to a lot of Hornets games just because they, were close to North Carolina. But I might have to start pulling for the Hornets, man, because they're fun to watch for sure. I'm still a Lakers fan, though. I'm still a diehard LeBron fan. But maybe when LeBron retires, I'll have to switch to the Hornets. But let's get Prizepicks pulled up, and let's start talking about the slate, answering some questions. Let's see. Do this. Let me get this pulled up. I'm gonna pull up Props Madness on this monitor and pull it over. Okay. And then let me make sure my Discord's pulled up on this other monitor. Okay. So if you guys do have any questions for tonight, feel free to start throwing those in chat and we'll get them answered. I did want to go over the injuries that we're keeping an eye on right now. So the big ones that we definitely want to monitor. So the Bulls have some questionable guys. Montas Bazelis and Josh Giddey are both questionable. I don't know if we'll get that news on stream. What time is that game? They play at 9 o'clock. Yeah, we're probably not going to get that. But that'll be something to keep an eye on. Cam Johnson's questionable. That's not too impactful. Anthony Edwards did get downgraded to questionable. Again, last time he got downgraded to questionable, he played. So I'm just assuming Anthony Edwards plays, but you never know. Maybe he sits today. We'll keep an eye on that. And then Zion's questionable, but that's a late game. So we're probably not going to get that news on Zion. And then also in that Minnesota game, we've got Brandon Ingram questionable. So really the two big ones that we're going to have to keep an eye on are Brandon Ingram and Anthony Edwards. Because I think we'll probably get that news on stream because that's a 7:30 game, or it's an 8 o'clock game. So I think we'll get that news on stream. The other ones probably won't get those on stream. But yeah, there's going to be some plays to target. I would say, I mean, if Anthony Edwards gets ruled out, like you guys kind of know who to take. Look at some Julius Randle props. Look at some Dante DiVincenzo props. Ayo Dosunmu definitely would be the guy I would target first if Ant's out. And then if Brandon Ingram's out, I definitely think Emmanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes are probably the two biggest beneficiaries. But RJ Barrett gets a little bit of a boost as well. But I would look at some Quickley props, some Barnes props for sure if Ingram sits. The other Q tags, again, I don't think we're going to get any of those on stream, so we won't even really discuss those. But let me go ahead and start answering some questions, and we'll talk through the slate and hopefully find some winning plays and help you guys out. Keegan's asking, you like Tobias Harris over 5 rebounds? You also like Jaden McDaniels over 14.5 points or Duren over 18 points? We can take a look at those. Let me pull up. By the way, guys, I know most of you guys probably have heard this already, but if you're new to the stream, if you don't have Props Madness, highly recommend you check them out. They're a research tool. Can be very helpful if you're trying to make your own player props, if you're trying to build your own props yourself. You can do that on Props Madness. They have a ton of data, matchup stats. They have sportsbook odds, so you can look at the odds on the plays. They've got everything you could possibly need. So if you want to try them out, use code NOAH, and you'll get 25% off your first monthly or yearly subscription. I see people in the chat saying Ant's playing. I haven't seen that yet. Okay, yeah, he is in. Okay, we did just get that. My notifications are a little slow. You guys got that one before me. I just got the Denny Avia notification for Friday. Yeah, I didn't get that Anthony Edwards notification. But yeah, he's in. Okay, so that defeats that. But we still got to keep an eye on the Brandon Ingram one because that's impactful. I figured Anthony Edwards would play. I mean, it feels like every time Anthony Edwards gets downgraded to questionable, he always plays. But I wanted to be ready just in case. But let me answer Keegan's question again. He was asking about Tobias Harris over rebounds, Jay McDaniels over points, Duren over points. I will say McDaniels, I don't like now that Anthony Edwards is playing. They might bump the lines down on McDaniels. Because sometimes when a player's questionable, they'll inflate the lines a little bit, and then if that player winds up playing, they'll actually move the lines down. So if you were going to bet Jaden McDaniels points, I would wait because they might actually move the line down. He's had some good scoring games lately, but if you look at games with Anthony Edwards, with Julius Randle, with DiVincenzo, with Ayo, he's over in 5 out of 8 games with all the main guys healthy. The matchup against Toronto, I feel it's not the best. But Jaden McDaniels is a spot-up guy. He does score a lot of his points from spot-up, and that's where the Raptors do struggle. So I think that he's at least got that working in his favor. But he scores a lot of his points within 10 feet. The Raptors are pretty good defending that area. Kind of neutral on the McDaniels play. That's not one I'm super in love with. And Tobias Harris rebounds. I feel like it's not a great rebounding spot for Tobias Harris. I mean, the Spurs have been really good on the glass this year. You can see a lot of, forwards have gone under their rebounds line against the Spurs as of late. Tobias had some big rebounding games, I know, when Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren were out. But, like, if you look at his games with Jalen Duren, with Isaiah Stewart, he's averaging 4.7 rebounds per game. He's over in, 20 out of 35 games. That's at 4.5. That doesn't include pushes. There's probably some pushes in there where he finishes with exactly 5. If you're needing him to get 6 rebounds, he's only done that in 12 out of 35 games with Stewart and with Duren. So yeah, like the Tobias rebounds I don't love. I bet if you look at his games, a lot of these games where he was getting a lot of boards, those were probably without Duren. He had some big rebounding games without Duren, and then he's had some big rebounding games without Stewart as well, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of his good rebounding games were without Stewart too. So, not a big fan of that one. And then the last one was Duren points. It's not a great matchup for Duren. He did just go off, though, against the Spurs. He did have 25 points. But, I mean, you can see 96% of Jalen Duren's points come within 10 feet. And the Spurs are 4th best, defending that area. They're 4th best defending the restricted area. That's where 74% of Duren's points come from. So, it's not a great matchup for Duren to score. But he already went off against the Spurs, not too long ago, like a week or two. His line in that game, though, was 16.5. Today it's 18 on Prizepicks. It's 17.5 on most sites. Don't love that one personally. So like I hate to shit on all your plays, but like those are 3 plays I personally don't really like. But if you like them, Keegan, man, roll with them. But just here to give my opinion. Not a big fan of those though. I have some concerns. What do you think about Kyle Filipowski fantasy score? I'm playing it. I like it for Filipowski. I think the matchup's really, really good. Last game, he only played like 5 minutes in the first half because he got in some early foul trouble. His minutes were way down. But in the games he's played, without Keontae, without Lauri Markkanen, or even just if we just look at games like without Markkanen, without Nurk, without Kessler, I mean, he's averaging 27 minutes per game. The matchup's fantastic. The Wizards are terrible defensively. I feel like Filipowski, blowout, close game, even if the Jazz are trying to lose, like Filipowski will be out there. So I think his line was 31.5. I think it's actually come up a point. At 32.5, I don't love it as much, but I do like the matchup for Filipowski for sure. This should be a spot where he's productive. And if you think he plays like 28 to 30 minutes, he probably averages, over a fantasy point per minute in a matchup like this, one that's as good as this one is. So I don't mind that one. What's up, Christopher? What's up, my man? What's up, Noah? Do you like the Asar Thompson over rebounds and assist? So I got cooked on an Asar under last game. I took his under fantasy and he went nuclear. He's been playing well lately. His minutes have been up. I'm not buying it. We've seen so many times Asar's minutes can just randomly get cut down. But so what is his line at? 8.5? That's a popular play on Prizepicks. Like you look at his minutes lately, 31, 21, 36 in OT, 28. But then he had an 18-minute game. That was against the Spurs as well. Today's matchup, he had 18 minutes against the Spurs. 32, 31. Like there's a lot of volatility with his minutes. But I bet if you look at games when he gets like 25, 26 minutes, he's got a pretty good hit rate on this RA line. But his minutes are not secure. Like they can play Ron Holland, they can play Isaiah Stewart, like they can go big and play Isaiah Stewart alongside Jalen Duren. Like they have a lot of guys that can take minutes from Asar. Also, Asar does tend to get in foul trouble a lot. I'm a little skeptical on that one, but if you told me that he gets the minutes, like if you told me he plays like 26 minutes or more, I would say, yeah, he probably goes over 8.5 RA. But I'm not confident in his minutes, even though they've been more consistent as of late. I just feel like he's a player that there's volatility with his minutes. North Carolina's where I reside, but I'm a diehard LeGod fan with you, bro. I've been a LeBron fan my whole life, man. Grew up watching him play. Like, I remember, watching the Cavs in a Warriors game after I graduated high school. Like, I remember going to Outback after I graduated high school. The game was at the bar. Like, I went and sat at the bar and watched the game by myself because, like, I was so into it. Like, I was such a big LeBron fan. I've been watching LeBron for probably like 15 years now, since I was at least like 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. He's definitely the guy that I grew up, really idolizing, I guess. I've got to see him play a few times, man. It's awesome. I'm going to be sad the day he retires. It's going to suck, but I know Father Time catches up to you eventually. Can't play forever. Martez says, do you like Cade under 25 points? I think it's a tough matchup for Cade, for sure. I want to say he did go under this line against the Spurs. Yeah, he had a bad scoring game against the Spurs when they just played pretty recently. He had played 35 minutes, but he shot 5 for 26. Now, obviously, 5 for 26, you don't expect him to shoot that poorly again. But, Cade scores a lot of his points within 10 feet. As we talked about, the Spurs are really good defending that area. The Spurs do struggle against pick and roll ball handlers, where Cade does score 31% of his points, so I guess he's got that working for him. They are a bad defense against pull up. It feels like if Cade's going to have a good scoring game, he's going to have to make like a lot of mid-range jumpers, because that's probably that's all he's going to get against the Spurs team with how they defend. And last time they played the Spurs, he just wasn't making those mid-range jumpers. Maybe today he does though. I don't love the matchup though for Cade. I kind of like his unders. I know his lines have come down a little bit, because I want to say his points was at 25.5 like earlier today. The market seems to be betting his unders. I kind of like his unders too. I was looking at his under fantasy. That line on Prizepicks was really high. It's come down a little bit. The matchup's definitely tough for Cade, but I mean Cade, he can win or he can be successful in tough matchups, but I think it will be difficult for him to score here. He's going to have to make those mid-range jumpers for sure. In your opinion, if you had to guess, how many more years does LeBron play? I really don't know. Like, I feel like it'll depend on how the Lakers do. And I don't know if, like, LeBron, if he's the type of player that would want, like, I feel like he would want a retirement tour or whatever, or, like, a last season type thing. Like, maybe he goes back to Cleveland for 1 year. I have no idea. I feel like if the Lakers are still competing and in the playoffs, and maybe if the Lakers make it to like the Western Conference Finals, like he'll probably stay around for another year. But like I have no idea. Like that's his decision. Who knows? This could be his last year for all we know. I doubt it. I feel like he's going to play at least one more year, but not sure. Do you like Jokic over 10 assists or Nolan Traore over 11.5 points? We can look at Jokic assists. So I took Jokic under points. That was one of my plays I gave out on YouTube last night. I took it under 30.5, and the lines come down to 28.5, so we got some good value on that Jokic under points. I feel like this is a matchup where they're going to scheme to try and, not let Jokic just play one-on-one against DeAndre Ayton or whoever's guarding him, Rui, maybe LeBron guards him. I feel like JJ Redick's the type of coach that's going to scheme to keep the ball out of Jokic's hands. These teams Jokic hasn't played the Lakers this year, but he played them 3 times last year. In those games, his scoring was down. His assists, though, were also down. In those games, though, he had 51 passes made, 9 potential assists, 66 passes made, 17 potential assists, 72 passes made, 13 potential assists. So, obviously a lot of passes, which you like to see if you're betting his assist. His line's at 10, though. That feels about right to me. If you could get it at 9.5 and not heavily juiced, like I would like that. But at 10 on Prizepicks, that's one I'd probably just avoid. But I do feel like this is a spot where they will, if Jokic gets the ball like at the top of the key in the paint, like they're gonna blitz, they're gonna try and trap. Definitely could see it being a spot where Jokic has a lot of potential assists. Will the Nuggets, will his teammates make their shots? I guess we'll see. But I feel like it will be more of an assist game for Jokic than a scoring game. At least I hope, because I took his under points. We do have that Prizepicks discount on Jokic points. I haven't used that yet. Even though I'm on Jokic's under, I'm still going to take this discount at 22.5 because it's a 7-point discount or 6-point discount. So we'll definitely give out at least a play or two to pair with this. If you guys haven't used this and you want to use it, we'll definitely give out a play, at least one play, maybe two, before the stream ends. I was going to wait and see on Brandon Ingram news, because if Brandon Ingram gets ruled out, what I'm going to do is take Scotty Barnes 39.5 fantasy and then Emmanuel Quickly 32.5 fantasy. I'm going to try and take both of those with the discount. That's if Brandon Ingram gets ruled out. I don't know how quick, though, they're going to be to pull the props. They'll probably be pretty quick because it's like the only injury news that we're really waiting on right now. But we'll see. That's one. Those are two I'm eyeing, though. I've also got like a play or two that I'm already kind of liking as well, even if that news doesn't break our way. And then we'll keep an eye on starting lineups for these games too, see if there's any changes, or any changes to lineups that we could find value on. But yeah, we'll use that Jokic discount. But for Jokic assist, I don't know. I'm iffy on that one. Don't love it. Do you like KD over 24.5 points? So the Rockets had a lot of guys questionable, and it looks like they're all going to play. Amen Thompson was questionable. He's playing. Shingu was questionable. He's playing. Jabari Smith is still questionable. We don't know if he's playing yet. I want to say KD's points prop has come down since that news came out. Some sites still have him at 25.5, though. Prizepicks, it looks like Prizepicks is the only site that has him at 24.5. So honestly, yeah, if you're going to take it, like I would take it on Prizepicks at 24.5 because everyone else, unless it hasn't updated, everyone else has him at 25.5. But the matchup here against Golden State, I think's okay. I mean, we can see over 40% of KD's points come from spot up and isolation, and the Warriors rank bottom 10 defending both of those play types. I'm guessing Draymond will guard KD here. And Draymond's still a solid defender, even at this point in his career. But I think the matchup's decent for KD. Let's see what he's done against the Warriors. Or I was looking at last season's stats, my bad. So let's look at this season. So this season, KD's points are coming from free throws, spot up. Still isolation, though. Warriors have struggled. Transition, they've struggled. They struggled against pull-up. That's where KD, he's a pull-up guy. That's where he takes a lot of his shots. So that's good to see. Against one of his dominant shooting zones, they've struggled. Let's see. 28% of his points come in, in the paint, where he takes a lot of those, short mid-range jumpers. Warriors have given up some scoring there, so that's good. Inside the break, scores 27% of his points. Warriors below league average defending that shooting zone, so that's good. There's definitely some positives here for KD. He hasn't played the Warriors this season with the Rockets, so we can't really look at any head-to-head stats. But the minutes are going to be there for sure as long as it's a competitive game. I mean, last few games he's played 37 minutes, 40 minutes. Like, I bet if you just look at games when he plays like 34 minutes or more, over this line in 59% of games, averaging 26.8 points per game. So solid hit right there. I think the matchup's decent, though, for KD. I don't hate his over points, especially at 24.5 on Prizepicks, where it looks like some sites still have him at 25.5. FanDuel, it looks like moved his line down to 24.5, but he's still at 25.5 on a lot of places. So on Prizepicks, yeah, at 24.5, I don't hate that. What's up, Noah? We hitting tonight with the Patreon start this green streak? I hope so, man. I hope so. I mean, all the Patreon plays that we gave out today bumped like 2 or 3 points. So, like, we're finding good plays that have good value, and lately it's just not been working out. Like, we've been losing, but just got to trust the process, man. Like, eventually the wins are going to start to come. It's been brutal, though. I mean, we've lost like a week straight. It's been terrible. But, like, I know I'm making the right decisions. Shit's just not been going our way. And it can happen like that. There's always going to be variance with sports betting, with player prop betting. You're going to have bad streaks. You're going to have hot streaks. In the end, it'll all even out. If you're, making the right decisions, if you're getting good value on your props, you'll make money in the long run. But it definitely sucks when these cold streaks happen. But I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking. I know I'm putting out good plays. Even the YouTube plays we gave out last night. I mean, Oso's line bumped up 2 points. Jokic's line went down 2 points. I think Pirtle's line went up a point. Like, we're getting value on everything we put out. It's just a matter of time before the wins start coming. You like Reed Shepherd, 13.5 points? Yeah, I'm a little bit iffy on Reed Shepherd. I see Reed Shepherd's a popular play tonight on Prizepicks. he's been playing really well lately, but a lot of these games like have been without, like Jabari Smith was out some of these games and Reed Shepard was starting. Like if we look at games with Şengün, with Amen, with Jabari, we're assuming Jabari plays. He might not play. He should play though. With Jabari, with KD, let's see. With Tari Eason, like all the main guys. In games with all these guys healthy, he's averaging 13.2 points per game over in about half of his games. So the line at 13.5 feels about right to me. I wouldn't I wouldn't look too heavily into his recent games because those games were all without Jabari Smith. He was starting, he was playing over 30 minutes. Now, if we assume Jabari Smith is playing tonight, Reed's going to go back to the bench. He's probably going to play still decent minutes, but he's not going to get over 30. He's probably going to play like mid-20s. So, also, a lot of Reed Shepard's points come from above the break threes. And, yeah, the Warriors are pretty good defending that shooting zone. So that's not great for Reed. It's not great. You like Collier over 9 assists? It should be a really good matchup for assists. I mean, the Wizards, we know how bad they are defensively. And with assists allowed, they rank... Where do they rank? Let's see. I mean, they're 29th, so they're second worst in the league giving up assists. I mean, you look at his games without Keontae this year, he's averaging 17.7 potential assists per game, 65.4 passes per game. He's had a huge ball handling role whenever Keontae's been out. We did see, like, some of these games, his minutes weren't that full. Like, so 2 of the last 3 games that Keontae's been out, they've only played Collier 25 and 27 minutes, so that does worry me a little bit. There were games when he was getting, like, huge minutes. Like, this game against the Pacers, he played, like, the full 48 minutes. They're not doing that anymore because they have more players available than they did in that game. But I'm sure if you look at, like, games without Keontae when he plays at least 30 minutes, I mean, pretty good hit rate. 5 out of 7 games he's over 8.5 assists. Potentials, I mean, 20 potential assists per game. Even if you, even if you take out that Pacers game when he played the entire game, I mean, his assist numbers are still strong. I do worry that, like, since they have more guards available now, that, Collier's not going to get huge minutes. But the matchup's great for assist, for sure. The game also, like, if you look at the total in that Wizards game, the Wizards-Jazz game, it has like a 240 total or something. So Vegas is expecting a lot of points in that game, which obviously that's what you want if you're betting on assist. Jamal Shed fantasy with Quickly if Ingram's out. I think Jamal Shed would benefit a little bit. I don't know if he would benefit a ton, though. What's his fantasy line at? Let's see. I don't see one on Prizepicks. They don't have a fantasy line. They have him at 13 PRA, though. Let's see. I mean, he gets a little boost, but like I don't think I'd be like running to bet Shed overs. Now, if they start Shed in place of Ingram, then that's different, but I don't think they'll do that. They'll probably start Jacoby Walter. I mean, he gets a little boost, but I would definitely be looking at like Barnes and Quickly, I think, first. And Barrett, too. Barrett gets a boost. But I think Barnes and Quickly, the guys I would look at first. Like, I do want to see... We can go to Props Madison and look at this. How many games has Ingram missed this year, if any? Okay, we just got the Magic starting lineup. It's as expected, so nothing to worry about there. So Ingram... No, not him. So Ingram's been out 1 game. Scotty Barnes had 46 PRA in that game. Barrett was also out. Pirtle was also out. But yeah, 46 PRA for Scotty Barnes. 31.7 rebounds, 8 assists. Let's look at Quickly. Okay, Jabari Smith is available to play, so that was as expected. So Quickly's played 2 games without Ingram this year. 32 PRA in both games. Ingram, Barrett, Pirtle were all out that game. Barnes, Ingram, Pirtle were all out. So we haven't seen a game without Ingram and with Barnes, Quickly, Barrett, but clearly the numbers for Quickly are good too. And I don't think Barrett's played a game without Barnes this year. Or without Ingram, excuse me. Okay, it looks like he has played 1 game without Ingram. Barnes was also out that game, so was Pirtle. I mean, all the guys benefit for sure, but I think I like Barnes and Quickly the most. Okay, we just got the Wizards starting lineup. Trey is starting with Trey Johnson, Leaky Black, Koulibaly, and I almost said Angel Reese, Julian Reese. So Leaky Black is starting. Do they have prop? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. I just like fucking zoomed way in. My bad. Do they have props up for Leaky Black? They do not. What about Julian Reese? They don't have props up for Reese either. Okay. Well, never mind. I mean, to be fair, that is Angel Reese's brother. But yeah, I said Angel Reese. I zoomed out on my other monitor and now it's all messed up. I gotta fix this. Okay, that should be fixed. Okay. So we got lineups for the first 2 games. We just got Mavs lineup: Flag, Christie, Middleton, Washington, and Gafford. So Najee Marshall's not starting. They're going with Middleton over Najee Marshall. Do they have props up for Middleton? They do. These might be okay. I mean, they're not great, but Middleton is starting, so there's probably some value on some of his overs. 2.5 assists, that feels pretty solid, even playing with Flag. 14.5 PR. What's better, PR or... I might take PR here. Or PRA, honestly. PRA might be the move. I think this is okay. Middleton starting now. He wasn't projected to start. It was expected that Najee Marshall would start. You could take some Najee Marshall unders, but I still feel like Najee Marshall's going to play a decent amount, even off the bench. But now that Middleton's starting, he probably projects for like 3 to 4 extra minutes. So his PRA line should probably be like 19.5, 20.5. I think we're going to lock this in. Let's lock it in with the Jokic free square. Honestly, Najee under 30.5 fantasy coming off the bench, I don't hate that. I think that's okay too. I'm not like, I still think Najee plays a good amount, but yeah, coming off the bench, I feel like 30.5 fantasy is a little bit high. Let me see if they bump any of Najee's lines. And I want to keep an eye on Middleton's lines too. I like 13.5 PR as well. That's honestly, that might be better than PRA. I might cancel my slip and do PR instead at 13.5. If I can get it. All right, I'm going to cancel that slip and I'm going to take PR instead. Just canceled it. Let's go PR. I feel like that's better. With PRA, you need Middleton to get, what, 4 assists? Oh, they just bumped it to 14.5. I got it at 13.5. If you didn't get 13.5 PR, then I would just stick with PRA. But honestly, I like both of those for Middleton. Okay, they're starting to lock his lines now. They locked his points line. They locked his assist. His rebounds and assists went up a point. For those that did want to tail that, did y'all get that in? You should have been able to get PRA at least, because PRA is still available. At PR, you probably couldn't get 13.5 PR. Make sure I got it. Okay, I got it. You took LeBron over rebounds. Odyssey, his rebounds prop so low. Hopefully it's not a trap. I mean, I feel like for LeBron, it's like all about the minutes. I don't think it's like a great rebounding matchup, but I'm sure if you look at the games where he plays like full minutes, I will say I feel like his rebounding numbers have definitely been down this year. But I mean, if you look at games when he plays like 30, 32 minutes, pretty good hit rate. You give him 34 minutes, even better hit rate. I wonder how he's done against the Nuggets, if he's rebounded well in this matchup. Had 9 rebounds against them earlier this year. Reeves was out that game. And then last season they played 3 games, 6 and 9 rebounds. I don't hate it. You're getting it like on DraftKings and on FanDuel. It's at plus money. On Prizepicks, it's at 5, which is just as good, I think. I don't hate that play, honestly, for LeBron. I know, yeah, his rebounding numbers have been down this year, but this should be a competitive game where he should be playing full minutes, hopefully. Okay, looks like they bumped up PRA a point. PA went up a point. PRA's at 14.5. Okay, Nelly said he was able to get 13.5, so that's good. That was definitely a good play for sure. Let's see. Sometimes Props Madness will update the odds for you. DraftKings has him at 14.5. It looks like a lot of the sites pulled his lines. MGM has him at 11.5 points. What about PRA? DraftKings at 17.5. Prospect 17.5. MGM went up to 18.5. Sleeper 19.5. Let's see. So 31.5, 21.5. Let's take a look at this real quick. Did they remove? Looks like they did remove Najee's fantasy at 30.5. If anybody took that under. That was probably a solid under, honestly. I still feel, I think we've been in this situation before though, where like Najee didn't start, but he still played like 30 minutes. So that's why I was a little skeptical on that one. But we got one slip in there for tonight. Maybe we'll get some news within like the next 15, 20 minutes and we can put another slip together. But at least we found something good to pair with the Jokic promo. There's a play I like that I'll talk about if we can find some good pairs. Honestly, I might go ahead and have this ready just in case Brandon Ingram gets ruled out. Just have this ready to play. And then I've got a play I like to pair with it that I'll give out if we get news. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, Brandon Ingram is available to play, so never mind. Well, there you go. So that's probably all the injury news we're going to get for now. The other stuff that we're still waiting on is like in the later games, and we're probably not going to get that on stream. But maybe we do. The Bulls ones are interesting. Like if Giddey and Matas are out, that's really good for like Trey Jones. That's really good for Yabusele. If you're someone that, if you like to snipe plays, if you have your alerts on, I would definitely have these ready to play if Matas and Giddey are out. Because I think both these guys really benefit if Matas and Giddey are out. So if you're on alert and you've got your notifications on, I would be ready to put those in later. Maybe we'll get that news on stream, but I doubt it. Let me get to some of these questions I missed. What do you think about Vassell, PRA, or Champagny points? Vassell, yeah, that's like the most popular play on Prizepicks today. I'm skeptical on Vassell just because, like, for one, he's been playing really well lately. He's kind of been exceeding his expectations. Like, pretty sure his PRA lines in all these games was at like 21.5 or 22.5, and he's been going over a lot lately. But just because he's averaging 28.8 his last 5 games doesn't mean you can set his line at 28.5, because then the under would be really, really good value. It's a bad matchup. He did just do well in this matchup not too long ago, but I feel like 20.5 is a good line on Vassell. Like I wouldn't be playing that. That doesn't mean I would say, that's not saying I'm taking the under. It's one of those props I just stay away from. And then Champagne's had some good games this year, but I feel like when the team is fully healthy, he's a little bit more inconsistent. But I will say Harrison Barnes is out, so that should be a plus for Champagne. Last game without Harrison Barnes, he did play 22 minutes in a blowout. In what should be a competitive game tonight, he probably plays like 24, 25 minutes. And I bet if you look at his games when he plays like at least like 22 minutes, let's see. With like 22 to 25 minutes, he averages only 8.3 points per game. That's not great. But Detroit, they've been like average defending catch and shoot. That's where a lot of Champagne's points come from, is catch and shoot. He's a guy that he doesn't really create his own shot. Like, he's relying on his teammates getting him the ball when he's in his spots. I think as of late, Detroit's been worse defending catch and shoot. Let's look at their recent games. Yeah, they're 24th defending catch and shoot their last 15 games. 23rd their last 10 games. So they've definitely been worse lately. I don't hate the spot for Champagne. I don't hate it. And Barnes being out does help his minutes. So I'm not as iffy on that one, but the Vassell one I'd stay away from, I think. Dawson taking Cade unders. I hate taking unders. Cade. Castle's legit perimeter defender. I talked about it earlier, man. Like, I think it is a tough matchup for Cade. He did really struggle last time these teams played. He also shot the ball terribly, but he shot the ball terribly because he was, taking a bunch of contested jumpers, and the Spurs are gonna, defend those jumpers really well. I said it earlier. If Cade has a big game tonight, it's because he makes a lot of those jumpers. I don't think he's gonna do a bunch of scoring, around the rim and attacking the basket, because with Wemby, with his rim protection, it's very tough to score in the paint against San Antonio. Michael said, shit, I'm old. I remember watching Bron's high school games on ESPN. He graduated a year before me. Yeah, see, that's before my time. I'm 26. I'll turn 27 in like 2 weeks. So I started watching LeBron probably when I was in like middle school, which was 15 years ago. But yeah, I'm probably a lot younger than a lot of you guys. I've been in this industry though a long time. I started playing daily fantasy when I was 16 years old. It's kind of crazy. I wasn't even legally allowed to play, but I just lied and said I was 18. I've been in this industry for a while, since I've been a teenager. It's just crazy to think about. Think of Trey Jones fantasy if Giddey's out, or Bazelis, what you think? Definitely like the Trey Jones one. I think Trey Jones gets a nice boost if Giddey's out for sure. You see any low-hanging fruit for sports books? Easy, minus 110. Like any lines I like that are minus 110. I mean, that if you could have got that Middleton prop, like the 14.5 PR, I don't know what the odds would have been on it. It's up to 15.5 now. You could have took that, if it was available on your sports book. I know things might be different on Prizepicks versus sports books. A lot of times, like Prizepicks, they don't adjust lines as quick as sports books do. But yeah, if I ever give out any plays on stream, I mean, you could check your sports book and see if they're available. Obviously, the fantasy score lines won't be available, but sometimes you can substitute for like PRA. Lakers would do damage if Ayton wasn't playing how he's been. If Ayton plays normal, if Ayton plays like his son's self, then we could be cooking. Yeah, Ayton's really been struggling this year, especially lately. Hopefully he gets it together. I was excited when they signed Ayton, but it's definitely been a letdown. You took Jokic under 52.5 PRA. I saw Jokic's PRA was up at like 53.5 or 54.5. Like, they're putting up really high lines on Jokic tonight. And maybe he goes berserk, but I noticed that too. Like, some of his lines are just really high. If the Nets keep it close, MPJ and Claxton have low lines, not going there though, but tempting. That's always the deal with MPJ. Like, I've said it so many times. When the Nets keep games competitive, he goes over his lines a lot, at a high rate. But when they get blown out, that's usually when he goes under. And that was the case last game. They got blown out. He played terribly. Maybe they keep it close tonight, though. What you think about Draymond's assist? That's a play I've won a lot lately on Draymond assist. I don't think it's a good matchup for assist, but like right now, I mean, they don't have Steph, they don't have Jimmy, they don't have Moses Moody, they don't have Gary Payton, they don't have Will Richard. They're very thin. I think the Warriors only have 9 available players. So Draymond's minutes should be solid here. I mean, last game he played 31 minutes, 24 minutes, 32 minutes. The game he played 24 was a blowout. Looks like his line's at 4.5 pretty much everywhere. Like, I bet if you look at games when Draymond plays, like, 28 minutes, I mean, yeah, he's got a pretty good hit rate on his assist line. I will say the matchup's bad. Like, so let's look at, in those 26 games, let's look at bad matchups. I mean, he still hits it in 7 out of 10 games when he has a bad matchup facing a top 10 team, limiting assists. Obviously, the Rockets, they're giving up the second fewest assists. That has me a little skeptical on Draymond, but them being so short-handed right now, only having 9 players available, like, he should get minutes here as long as he stays out of foul trouble and as long as he doesn't get ejected either. Quentin Post over 7.5 points or boards at 4.5. I haven't looked at really any Quentin Post lines, but again, like, the Warriors only have 9 available players, so Post should get some minutes. I want to say without Steven Adams, like, the Rockets' rim protection's not been as strong. They've been giving up, like, more points in the paint. I guess I don't hate it on Post. What do you think of Paolo tonight? I haven't really looked at any Paolo props. Little worried that game could maybe be a blowout. I don't know on Paolo. Probably would just stay away there. I feel like his lines are set pretty correctly, especially with the team pretty much fully healthy. Like, Bane's healthy, Suggs is healthy, Black's healthy, Wendell's healthy. Just kind of a pass for me. Call Me Sandman says, keep up the great work, Noah. Love the content. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thoughts on Christian Brown? Over 7.5 RA. Books seem to favor the over. He should play big minutes. We can look at Christian Brown RA. Let's see. Yeah, most books have him at 7.5. DraftKings does have him juiced towards the over, so you like to see that if you're playing it on Prizepicks. Definitely should play big minutes here for sure because they don't have Aaron Gordon, they don't have Peyton Watson, Cam Johnson's questionable. Last few games he's been playing big minutes, 45 in OT, but he played 40 minutes in regulation, 38 minutes, 32 minutes. Let's look at games when Christian Brown plays like at least 30 minutes. He averages 8 RA per game, over in 6 out of 17 games, but let's look at games without Gordon and without Watson. So he's over in 5 out of 10 games without Gordon and Watson. The games he went under, 32 minutes, 32 minutes, 34 minutes. So still good minutes in these games. This game he had 15 rebound chances, but only 5 rebounds. So got unlucky to only have 5 rebounds there. I feel like 7.5 is probably a good line on Brown, but DraftKings does have him juiced towards the over. Some sportsbooks also have him juiced towards the over. If you want to take that play on Prizepicks, I don't hate it. But that feels like a good line to me. Bane for 3 threes. I feel like it's not a good matchup for threes. The Mavs, I want to say, have been very good. Yeah, they've been a really good defense defending catch and shoot. 4th best in the league. Also, they're very good defending above the break threes, which is where 30% of Bane's points come from. He's pretty heavily favored for under 2.5 threes. So if you're taking him over, you want to make sure you're getting like a really good plus money on it, like plus 120, something like that, if you can get that. Let's look at games without Franz, but then with Black, Carter, Suggs, and Paolo. So in games without Franz, but with all the other guys, he's averaging 2.9 threes per game, threes made per game, over in half his games. The games he went under, he shot 2 for 5, 1 for 7, 1 for 3, 1 for 2, 2 for 6, 1 for 4, 2 for 4. This just feels like one of those games where he might only have like 4 or 5 3-point attempts, just because of how good Dallas has been defending threes this year. So, a little skeptical on that one. LeBron points and assist. I don't hate that. Like, I was looking at some of LeBron's lines today. They felt pretty low. Just, compared to, especially for a game like this against the Nuggets that should be competitive. Like, his fantasy line on Prizepicks was at like 36.5. I almost played that over. I don't hate that 27.5 PA or 27 PA. Cooper Flag under fantasy with limited minutes. Yeah, they said he's limited to 20 to 25 minutes. I feel like where his line's set at, that's kind of appropriate. Like 29.5, that feels like about what he projects for. Like if you assume he's playing like 25 minutes, 29.5 fantasy feels about right to me. Any fantasy picks? So there's one fantasy score that I do like. I was going to give it out, but like I didn't know what to pair it with. But with all the Warriors' injuries tonight, especially at guard, I do like Pat Spencer over 20 fantasy. If you guys want to play this with something, I don't have a pair. You can pair it with the Jokic free square if you haven't used it yet. But I've already used it, so I can't use it. So, I mean, you can just look at the Warriors' injuries for tonight. And Gary Payton got ruled out like an hour ago, and I'm surprised they didn't bump any of the lines on Pat Spencer, because I think Gary Payton being out is like a big deal for Pat Spencer. But like right now, they don't have Steph, they don't have Jimmy, they don't have Porzingis, they don't have Moses Moody, they don't have Gary Payton, they don't have Will Richard. They only have non-available players, and at guard, they're pretty thin. Like the only guards they have are Melton, Pods, Nate Williams, and Spencer. That's really it. So like Spencer's minutes should be very solid here. Like I would think mid-20s most likely. I mean, even if you just look at his games without Steph and Jimmy this year, he's averaging 19.5 PRA per game, which equates to like 23.5 fantasy. Obviously, the matchup against Houston's not great, but I feel like 20 fantasy is definitely low on Spencer if he's playing like 24, 25 minutes here. And this game does have a big spread. Like it's got like an 8 or it's like a 9-point spread. Like if the Rockets blow them out, Spencer's going to play garbage time. So you got that working for you too. I think it'll be a close game, but yeah, if the Rockets do blow them out, you could get garbage minutes from Spencer, which he should really cook in garbage time. So there's a lot of paths for him to play good minutes here. So I do like that. That's a fantasy prop I like for tonight if you want to play it. I would play it with the Jokic thing, but I've already maxed out the Jokic discount. So I'm going to answer a few more questions, guys, and we're probably going to hop out of here in a minute. My fiance just got home, and I need to talk to her, go eat dinner and stuff. Your birthday is March 30th. My birthday is March 22nd. So yeah, I'm a March guy. So my birthday is in what? 2 weeks in like 2 days. We're going to the Hornets Sixers game for my birthday, which is like a week after my birthday. So I'll be at that game. But yeah, birthday's in a couple weeks. I'll be 27 years old. No, you just called me an unk. Now I'm hurt. He really has to get me some money today. Hey, I feel like I am a lot older or a lot younger than a lot of you guys, but maybe not. Maybe there's some young guys in here too. I know when I first started doing this though, like when I told people like how old I was, people were like, so shocked. They thought I was a lot older than I was. But it is crazy to think about. Like I was doing videos and like content when I was literally like 17 years old. I've been in this game a while, man. I've been in this game a while. Anyone like Raptors money line? I don't hate that. I think they could upset Minnesota. But yeah, now that Ingram's playing, like I don't hate it. Pods under 16.5 points. If you got that, that's a play I do like. I want to say his points line was at like 15.5 last time I saw. Maybe it came up. Yeah, it's at 16.5 some places. If you can get it at 16.5, I don't hate it. I think it's a bad matchup for Pods to score. I almost took his unders last night, but I decided not to. But I mean, you can see like he gets 27% of his points from spot up. Rockets are the best in the league defending spot up. 34% of his points coming from within 10 feet. They're top 10 defending that shot type, that area. They don't give up much catch and shoot at all. That's where 30% of his points come from. He's had some big scoring games lately, but some of those matchups have been soft. This is obviously not that. This is a difficult matchup. So yeah, I don't hate some Pods unders. His lines are definitely inflated because of some recent performances, but this could be a spot where he does regress a little bit, I think. Thoughts on Jalen Green under 2.5 threes made? Let's see. So he's only over this line in 3 games this year, but a lot of these games he wasn't playing full minutes, so you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. Let's look at games when he gets at least like 25 minutes. Or 25. So in games with at least 25 minutes, he's only over in 1 out of 4. But in this game, he went over, he shot 4 for 9. This game he went under, but he shot 2 for 11. This game he went under, but he shot 1 for 8. This game he went under, he shot 2 for 8. I mean, he's getting up the volume. The efficiency's been bad, and that can happen with Jalen Green. He's kind of an inefficient scorer. But if he continues to take like 8, 9, 10 threes a game, I mean, you would think he probably makes 3 of them. The Bulls, I want to say the Bulls do give up a lot of threes. I think they have this year. Let's see. Okay, they're 18th defending threes against his position, so below league average. They give up a lot of spot up, though. They give up a lot of catch and shoot, so that's good. They play at a fast pace, so there's definitely some things working in Jalen Green's favor here. I don't hate that play on Green threes. You just got to hope he doesn't shoot, 2 for 11 or some shit, which he definitely can. Hopefully he doesn't, though, for your bet. Jokic at 4 a.m. this morning was at 54.5 PRA. Should have took that. When I was looking at the lines last night, man, I was like, damn, like these are some super high lines on Jokic. Like maybe the books know something I don't. Maybe Jokic has a nuclear game tonight, but when I saw that points prop at 30.5, I was like, yeah, I think I got to take the under there. Zion and Trey Murphy questionable. May have to look out for Sadiq and Herb later. Yeah, Trey Murphy's expected to play, and I think Zion's probably going to play too. But I do believe it is the front end of a back-to-back for the Pelicans. I think they do play again tomorrow. So maybe Zion sits tonight and plays tomorrow. They play at Phoenix tomorrow. But I would think Zion plays. We'll see, though. Obviously, yeah, if Zion's out, I mean, that's going to benefit Trey, Herb, Derek Queen. If they put up props for Derek Queen, he really benefits if Zion's out. Ahmed at 15.5 points feels a tad low. I don't hate that. I took his fantasy score on Prizepicks earlier today at 34.5. 15.5 points also feels like a solid play. Ahmed does score a lot of his points at the rim, and the Warriors, they have been below league average defending within 10 feet. They're giving up a lot of points in the paint, so that's good. In the restricted area, been a little bit better. They give up points in transition. That's where Amen does score a lot of his points. So there's things working for Amen here in his favor to score. And let's see. Did he play the Warriors this year? He did play the Warriors this year. Only had 10 points. But I think it is a good matchup for him to definitely be able to score. You'll be 29 this month? Okay. So some of you guys aren't too much older than me. You like pods under 26.5 PRA? I think that's fine too. I'm kind of down on pods tonight. Like I do like some of his unders. His lines have come down a little bit, I think, but it does feel like a spot where he maybe regresses a little bit. What do you think about Michael Porter Jr. alt line of 24.5 PRA? I mean, I'm sure the hit rate on that's really good. I feel like for me, if I was taking an MPJ prop, like I would just take his normal lines over and just hope the game's competitive. Because, like, if it's a blowout, if the Nets get blown out, like, there's a chance he could still go under that alt line. Like, if you look at games, let's see. Because if it's a blowout, we assume he's playing probably, like, less than 28 minutes. So if you look at games when he plays less than 28 minutes, he's under that alt line in 8 out of 9 games. So I feel like for me, if I was going to take MPJ anything, I would just take his over regular line and hope it's a close game, or just not touch it. Because if it's a blowout, like he could still go under that alt line. You can see, with less than 28 minutes, he's under in 8 out of 9 games. But all right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Good luck, everybody. Thanks as always for you guys tuning in and asking questions. Really appreciate it. Should be live one more time tomorrow to end the week. I don't know how many games are on tomorrow. I think it's a decent slate. But I'll probably go live. Let me actually look real quick before I hop off. So we got 7 games tomorrow starting at 7 o'clock. So I'll probably go live probably about 6 o'clock again, maybe a little later, maybe like 6:15. And we'll do like 30, 45-minute stream, answer questions, react to any injury news, starting lineups, and hopefully find some good plays. But thanks as always for watching, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.